These are the most popular gaming laptops you guys bought in 2024. I can see which laptops were bought with the links below the video or through the gaminglaptop.deals website. That's where we share the best gaming laptop deals so you can save the most amount of money. And with all of this data, I can analyze what you've been buying and find out what's popular in 2024. First of all, not everyone was buying a brand new 2024 gaming laptop in 2024. We sold over 5,600 gaming laptops through our links in 2024, but 2/3 of them were 2023 models from last year, while almost a third were newer 2024 models. That makes sense considering I did a video earlier this year talking about how in most cases, 2023 models are cheaper and offer similar performance. Let's break this down and find out what GPUs you bought next. Almost 98% of gaming laptops you bought this year had NVIDIA graphics inside, which is up from 91% last year. AMD barely makes up 2% here, while Intel's Arc graphics are almost non-existent with just 9 total sales. Out of all 2024 models purchased in 2024, 38% of you chose RTX 4070 graphics. The RTX 4060 came in at second place, making up almost a quarter of total sales. The lower tier RTX 4050 and higher tier RTX 4080 sold in similar quantities, while only 8% of you went for the maxed out RTX 4090. I don't think we saw any new Radeon gaming laptops this year, except the Framework 16, but we didn't sell any through our links, so that's why there's no AMD options on this graph. But remember, those 2024 models only made up a third of total sales. Now let's see what GPUs you bought in the 66% of 2023 models that were purchased in 2024. We've got some Radeon graphics this time, but we're only talking about 3% of total sales, with most of them coming from ASUS's TUF A16. There just haven't been many gaming laptops with AMD graphics over the last couple of years. The RTX 4060 had a bigger share out of the 2023 models, with the 4070 now in second place. It's good to see that most of you are avoiding the 3050 in favor of the 4050, but even better that 82% of you chose at least 8 gigs of VRAM. We've got to look back to older 2022 gaming laptops sold in 2024 to find the RTX 30 series GPUs, because Nvidia only still produces the 3050 in newer 2023 and 2024 models. Keep in mind what you're seeing here only made up 1% of our gaming laptop sales in 2024. But yeah, it would seem that the days of people buying the 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti are over. Just before we look at the CPU breakdown, these are the average prices in US dollars of gaming laptops with each GPU. As sales data comes from both this YouTube channel as well as the gaminglaptop.deals website that we run, results may be skewed a little lower if lots of people bought during nice sales. The price of an RTX 4070 laptop could be as low as $900 or as high as $2,000. We're just looking at averages here. On average, RTX 4080 gaming laptops went for $2,084 this year, which is down compared to $2,215 last year. So price has come down, but not much. But not everything got cheaper, because you actually spent $120 more on RTX 4090 gaming laptops this year compared to last year. The 4070 was only $12 cheaper on average compared to last year, but gaming laptops with the RTX 4060 were $136 cheaper on average this year compared to last year. But the biggest difference was seen in the RTX 4050, which was $159 cheaper compared to last year. In fact, lower-end RTX 2050 and RTX 3050 gaming laptops, despite being cheaper than the 4050, actually got more expensive this year by about $50. So that probably helps explain why so few of you bought them this year. The 4050 is a better choice at the lower end. Let's get into CPUs next, where AMD had a bigger market share compared to GPUs, but they're still beaten by Intel, who made up almost 2/3 of our gaming laptop sales this year. But that said, AMD has taken more of the pie this year, as last year they made up 33% in our sales. Alright, let's dig into the 32% of 2024 gaming laptops sold in 2024. Almost a third of all CPUs in 2024 models had Intel's Core i9-14900HX processor inside, which is kind of crazy considering that the lower tier i7-1470 7700HX, just below it in Intel's lineup, only made up 2% of all sales. The i9 is definitely available in more gaming laptops, so it's probably just the case that it's more common, rather than this being due to people specifically trying to get the maxed out i9 processor. AMD's Ryzen 7 8845HS came in at second place, with it being found in 10% of your 2024 laptops. But I found it interesting that Intel's Media Lake chips had a relatively high 9% share of sales, because they're not actually in that many gaming laptops. But I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, considering they're mostly from the ASUS Zephyrus G16. And flaws aside like soldered memory, I've said that I think it's one of the best gaming laptops of the year. The 7735HS is still kicking along with 5% of all sales in 2024 models. And this is basically the Zen 3 based 6800H from 2022 with a rename. I found it interesting that only 3% of 2024 models sold with AMD's processors that don't have integrated graphics. I mean, on the one hand, I get it. I literally did a video saying to avoid them if you care about battery life. But at the same time, they perform fine with the charger connected, and have been available in some of the cheapest laptops. But I suppose these only started appearing in the last few months, so maybe they're either still too new, or most of you care about battery life. AMD's latest Zen 5 processors that came out in July offer great battery life, but they're not found in that many gaming laptops just yet, and as a result, are only found in less than 0.5% of your laptops. Let's not forget that 66% of the gaming laptops sold in 2024 were older 2023 models, and out of those, the 13900HX made up the majority with a 26% share. Unlike what we saw with the newer 2024 models though, Intel's i7 came in at second place. AMD's Ryzen 7 7840HS is pretty much exactly the same as the newer 8845HS, and if you recall, that had a 10% share of 2024 models. So AMD's Ryzen 7 chip had a similar share out of the 2023 models too. We didn't see too many sales with AMD's higher core count Dragon Range chips, but they also weren't available in as many laptops compared to Intel's HX options. Here's how everything breaks down in terms of gaming laptop brands. More than half of you bought a Lenovo laptop, which is kind of crazy. Lenovo were in the lead last year too, but with a 39% share, so that's expanded significantly this year. ASUS are still in second place, but last year they made up almost 36% of sales. If I had to guess, I'd say it's because last year ASUS had lots of new gaming laptops, but this year pretty much all they had was the redesigned Zephyrus G14 and G16, which are more premium and expensive models. I'm thinking this might change next year, as Nvidia are meant to be announcing their new RTX 50 series laptop GPUs at CES in January, which in theory may mean a whole lot of new laptop designs from all of the brands. CES is only about a month and a half away, and I'll be going there to cover all the new gaming laptops, so make sure that you're subscribed for that content. Acer was in third place again this year, but with 8% of sales compared to 12% last year. But more of you bought HP this year, with them taking almost 8% of the pie compared to 5% last year. But Dell and Alienware had some of the biggest changes in market share, going from about 2.5% last year to a combined 6% this year, which is likely because they actually ran lots of great sales this year. We frequently had them listed on the gaminglaptop.deals site. Again, link is below if you want to save money on your next gaming laptop. Let's dive into the specific models that made up the 55% of Lenovo sales. The most popular Lenovo gaming laptop sold this year was the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i, making up almost 26% of Lenovo laptop sales, and for context, that's 14% of total sales for all gaming laptops for the whole year. So 14% of you bought a Legion Pro 7i. That's kind of crazy considering we didn't even review the newer 2024 model this year, but that's because it's basically the same as the 2023 version, just with a 14th gen CPU. Overall, it's an excellent gaming laptop, and it had some good sales this year, so not too surprising. The same goes for the Pro 5i. We didn't review that this year, but it still made up 20% of total Lenovo sales. The Lock was my favorite budget gaming laptop last year, and that continued in 2024. 2024. Last year, lock sales only made up 7% of Lenovo's total sales. Now this year, 18% of all Lenovo sales were a lock. We've seen some pretty crazy sales on them this year, so that makes sense. But pretty much no one bought their top-of-the-line Legion 9. So the Legion Pro 7 was the most popular gaming laptop of the year, making up 16% of all our laptop sales in 2024. But if we break it down further, we can see that the 2023 model with Intel 13th Gen CPU made up 69% of these sales. Nice. This one had some great sales throughout the year, and only recently went out of stock. The newer 14th Gen model only made up 19% of the Pro 7 sales, but that'll likely increase now as it seems to be the only option, while last year's AMD version with their Dragon Range HX processors made up 12% of the 16%, and that one's still available. Next up, we've got ASUS, who account for 19% of all gaming laptop sales this year. The Zephyrus G14 takes the lead here, and is one of the best-selling gaming laptops all year. And I mean, it is a great gaming laptop if you're after something super portable. I was surprised to see the Strix G16 in second place, because like the Legion Pro models, we didn't review it this year. But that said, in my 2023 review, I noted it had very few flaws and was an excellent gaming laptop overall. That could explain why 17% of ASUS sales were the Strix G16. But even so, it usually costs way more compared to other great laptops with the same specs. So this tells me quite a few of you are happy to spend more for a better overall laptop, rather than saving some money on a cheaper option that might have the same CPU and GPU. 9% of all ASUS sales were the tough A16 with AMD Radeon graphics. But as we saw earlier, that wasn't really enough to take anything away from Nvidia. Meanwhile, Acer made up 8% of all gaming laptop sales this year, with their budget-friendly Nitro series clearly dominating. These were frequently on the gaminglaptop.deals site throughout the year with some great prices, so that makes sense. The higher tier Helios Neo 16 was in second place, which makes sense as I put it in my top 5 best gaming laptops of the year video. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, we did not get the non-Neo version to review this year, but it still made up almost 20% of all Acer's sales for the year. The bigger 18-inch and smaller 14-inch models had far less interest. HP are up next, with only a slightly smaller 7.5% share of all laptops sold this year. Most of you went for the Victus 15, which again makes sense because of some of the crazy deals we've had on the gaminglaptop.deals site. First, the Victus with RTX 4050 graphics dropped to $599 at Walmart, then to $499, which is just crazy value and the lowest we've seen the 4050 go for so far. I'd say it's responsible for the average 4050 price lowering the most this year. Dell and Alienware combined made up 6% of total gaming laptop sales this year, and most of you went for the Dell G15 or Dell G16, which again isn't too surprising considering the attractive sales we've had on the gaminglaptop.deals site. The G15 with RTX 4060 graphics and Ryzen 7 7840HS processor has been on sale for $720 for weeks, which has been a steal prior to Black Friday sales. I was surprised that so many of the Alienware sales were the M18R2, because that's a huge gaming laptop, but it was the best-selling 18-inch model of the year, beating ASUS's Scar 18 and Acer's Helios 18. MSI only made up 2% of total gaming laptop sales this year, down from almost 4% last year. But I guess that's not too surprising, as MSI only lent us one gaming laptop all year, which was the Titan 18, and we only sold one of those all year through our links. So based on this, you can see quite a few of these only had a single sale. The only other MSI gaming laptop we covered this year was the Cyborg 14, and that was because I bought it with my own money. But the review wasn't very positive, and it would appear the result is none of you bought one. That said, unfortunately, most of the MSI sales were the GF63, which is a laptop I don't recommend. But on the plus side, it was only 18 sales in total, so only 18 people have to suffer. Gigabyte laptops made up less than 1% of total sales. But what's funny is the two models we reviewed, the Gigabyte G6X and Aorus 16X, didn't even have any sales. I mean, the G6X didn't review very positively, but I thought the Aorus 16X was decent, yet no one bought it, at least through our links. Though to be fair, I don't think we've listed it on the gaminglaptop.deals site, so maybe the price didn't drop enough compared to other options. Combined, XMG and Eluktronics made up 0.5% of total sales. Eluktronics don't have an affiliate program though, so we've only only got a little data from Amazon, and can't see any sales that might happen on their site. With XMG, I'm not surprised at all to see the Neo 16 being most popular, as it's one of the most powerful gaming laptops that exists, even without the optional liquid cooler. Razer sales made up less than 1% of total sales this year, just like last year. But that's not too surprising, considering they sell some of the most expensive gaming laptops available. The Blade 16 had the most sales for Razer, but we're only talking about 10 units. Here's how the split looks if we look at individual laptops from all brands. The graph gets a bit messy and useless towards the lower sale amounts, but I think this is a nice way of clearly seeing what the most popular gaming laptops of the year were. Lenovo's Legion Pro 7i, Pro 5i, and Lock were dominating. ASUS's Zephyrus G14 was the fourth most popular gaming laptop by total sales volume, and the most popular 14-inch model sold this year ahead of Lenovo's Legion Slim 5. The 16-inch version of Lenovo's Legion Slim is up there too, as is HP's budget-friendly Victus option. So yeah, I can absolutely see why 50% of all laptop sales were these models. Massive shout out to my partner who spent the last 2 weeks collecting all that data and creating the graphs. Seriously, she saved me a lot of time, and without her expert Excel skills, this video wouldn't exist. Alright, so the main takeaways for me are that a lot of you are still buying 2023 gaming laptops in 2024, which makes sense, as we've got the same CPUs and GPUs from 2023 available as our best options in 2024. So you might as well just save the money buying an older 2023 model, unless there's something specific that the 2024 refresh gets you, like an OLED screen or something. Gaming laptops with Intel processors are still more popular than AMD processors, but AMD made some gains this year compared to last year. Nvidia absolutely dominates on the GPU side this year, and on average, prices for RTX 4050, 4060, 4070, and 4080 gaming laptops have lowered this year. But 4090 options have either gotten more expensive, or you're buying higher spec 4090 models this year. It's hard for me to know if Lenovo is actually the most popular gaming laptop brand on a global scale, or if they make up 55% of all my sales because of my videos. These results are definitely skewed and biased towards laptops that I've reviewed positively, or have had great sales on the gaminglaptop.deals website. Don't forget to check it out with the link below to save money on your next gaming laptop. Black Friday sales are just around the corner. So those are the gaming laptops that you guys bought this year. But which gaming laptops would I buy? Check out this video next, where I go through 14 different price ranges and talk about what gaming laptop I would personally buy at each price. That'll give you a lot of great suggestions if you're looking to buy a new gaming laptop, so I'll see you in that one.